By the end of this video, you'll have made your own song that sounds like birds of a feather if you follow along. So here's the original song. The song uses a soft pad, and it's very spaced out. That's what gives it that dreamy ambient vibe. So we're going to use a similar sound. And here's the chord progression the song uses in C major. That's a 1-6-2-5 progression. So we're going to want to use a similar sounding chord progression. So here's a list of progressions that sound similar, and you can pick one. And the reason they do is because they all use the 6th chord to add emotional depth, and they all start with the 1 or 6 chord. So here's the one I chose. That's a 1-3-6-4 progression. And remember, we're going to want to play this very spaced out. And then we need a bass line. So in the original song, the bass only plays the root notes of the chords. So 1, 6, 2, 5. Except for when it switches between 1 and 6, it plays the 7 note to do a walk down. But it plays it in this repeated rhythm. So because the pad is so spaced out, there's no movement there. So we need the movement to come from the drums and bass. That's why the drums are so upbeat in the song and the bass is in this rhythm. So we're going to want to make our bass line with a lot of movement as well. So we want to start off with the root notes of the chords we're playing. So I'm playing C, E, A, and F. So I'll start with those notes. And then in between those notes, I can add more notes to create more movement. And I can just play the same notes as the ones the chord is playing. So for C major, I can play between these two C's 1 octave apart. And then the next note is E, so I can do a walk up to there. And then just repeat the rhythm for every chord. So here's what mine sounds like. By the way, if you want to learn more in-depth music theory so you can make your own professional sounding songs, check out the course in my description. And then we can add an upbeat drum pattern. And then we have the bell melody. The reason this is able to play throughout the entire song and it sounds good over each chord is because it only plays the 1, 5, and 7 notes of the scale. These have a neutral sound and not much emotion tied to it, and that's what gives it that dreamy vibe. So if we want to make something similar, we'll put emphasis on those notes. So here's what I came up with. Then we have the melody. Now the melody is something that doesn't have much of a method to it because you can just play any notes of the scale, but you just have to play around with it for yourself and see what sounds good. But if you want to make something that sounds like the chorus of Birds of a Feather, it plays around the 3 and 4 notes of the scale, like this. So you can use those notes in your melody if you want. But here's what I came up with. And there you have it. You've made your own song that sounds like Birds of a Feather.